Hello everyone, and welcome to another exciting episode of Porterhouse Skyrim Mod Reviews. I'm your host, Porterhouse, and that's no bull. Hey there folks, I got a double dose of follower goodness for you today, but first a quick note. Work is still kicking my ass with overloads, but things are starting to slow down a bit, and I have a bunch of days off coming up, so expect more reviews in the future. Now, I meant to crank out a Skyrim Halloween episode, but ended up spending some time with the family instead, so that's why that didn't happen. Now, speaking of Halloween, let's get to the first mod. First up, we have Nerida the Crow by Nachtdaemmerung. If you watched my vids on a regular basis, then this mod author's name should be familiar. I have reviewed a ton of his mods, and he built version 2 of my Tish follower mod that you saw in the last episode. Well, this time what Nacht has done was remake one of his previous followers. The original Nerida is not what you would call a good girl, being light-fingered and quick with a stab. Well, in this Halloween remake of her, the backstory is very different, and it actually starts out happy, but unfortunately ends tragically with her death and that of her true love. A year later, sweet homemaker and would-be artist Nerida burst forth from her grave, reborn as Nerida the Crow, a revenant seeking revenge for the death of her dreams. Nacht remade this mod purely for Halloween fun, and was heavily influenced by one of his favorite movies, the 1994 hit The Crow, starring Brandon Lee. Now, the results was a spooky, ominous-looking character with an otherworldly demeanor and a taste for visiting vengeance on enemies and a flurry of blades. Now, starting off with Nerida's perks, they include Armsman, Bladesman, Dual Flurry, Dual Savagery, Fighting Stance, Savage Strike, Agile Defender, Stealth, Silent Roll, Silence, Lightfoot, Muffled Movement, and Restoration. Her spells include Healing, Fast Healing, and Night Cloak. As per his usual excellence, the mod author included a faux mod installer that allows you to choose her body type, UNP or CBBE, 2K or 4K skin resolution, soft or strong looking muscles, and finally either pale undead eyes or the green eyes of the original mod. Now, Nerida does have some requirements. You will need the latest version of Skyrim, of course, the Dawnguard DLC, the XP32 Maximum Skeleton or the XP32 Maximum Skeleton Extended, and the HDT High Heal system. Finally, Nerida levels with the player from level 5 to level 300. Now, I just also want to note that she is also available for Skyrim Special Edition. Now, a little later, you will see Nerida in action in the combat clips, so stay tuned. Next up, we have a follower from another fantastic mod author. This is Yunsol from EOMSIC. Now, I know I butchered those pronunciations. You have my apologies. Now, I have had Yunsol for a while now, and I planned on reviewing her, but then the mod author announced that he was going to do a custom voiced version of her, and so I decided to put off the review. Well, the custom voiced version came out a couple days ago, and I immediately downloaded her and checked her out. Now, like Tish, my follower mod, Yunsol was the author's character, and after a number of requests, he made her into a follower mod. And the results are absolutely adorable. EOMSIC did a wonderful job on her face sculpts right down to her pretty blue eyes. Now, she does have a short backstory, and that is that she is another survivor of the Helgen attack and eventually made her way to Riverwood, where she is waiting in the Sleeping Giant Inn for the perfect traveling companion. Now, Yunsol is an archer of no small skill, but can also fight one-handed. Her perks include Armsman, Fighting Stance, Overdraw, Quick Shot, Power Shot, Ranger, Stealth, Lightfoot, Muffled Movement, Silent Roll, and Silence. Now, the author wanted me to mention that Yunsol's defense is a little on the weak side, so it's important that she stand off and use her bow. Also, she is better in a light armor than in a heavy one, so I put her in Nisa Tanaka's leather armor with little bits and bobs like the hide shorts from the hide armor from that same mod, and the Nord plate tassets, because I thought that added a nice touch. Now, like Nerida, Yunsol has a faux mod installer that allows you to choose her language, English, Korean, or Japanese, and her body type, UUNP or CBBE. Finally, there is a nice note of thanks from the author, which I thought was a good touch. Now, I was chatting with the mod author last night, and EOMSIC highly recommends using the unkoENB with Yunsol. I will put a link to that ENB in the description, so be sure to check it out, and as always, follow the instructions carefully if you decide to install it. Well, we've taken a good look at the mods, so now comes my favorite part of the review, where I get to take them out and test them in the field. We're going to do some combat clips, and then afterwards, I'm going to tell you my final thoughts and critiques, if any. So sit back, relax, and enjoy, and we will be back in a bit.
저기 보여요.
줄 쌍프로
쭉 명치 무릎 말만 하라고. 아래쪽도 문제 없어. 따뜻해. 경비병으로 만들어버리겠어.
What was that? Come on.
명치 무릎 말만 하라고. 아래쪽도 문제 없어.
You won't get away.
몇 발 빗나간 것 같은데.
As you saw from the clips, both Nerida and Yunsol worked well together. Nerida would rush in and slice and dice while Yunsol sniped. Both were extremely fun and effective in a fight, large or small. Nerida is indeed an ominous presence, and it is really a blast having your own vengeful spirit lopping off heads on your behalf. Now, she is meant to be for fun, so you might find her a bit OP, I actually kind of enjoyed hanging back and letting Nerida run back and forth, spilling blood. Now, if you noticed in combat, she had a couple of effects, and those are due to her katanas, Solace and Sorrow. Solace drains life from her enemies, and Sorrow causes poison damage. Nerida also has a collar that helps regenerate her health 20% faster. If you are looking for a fun, unearthly follower that can fight like a razored tornado, then I suggest you download Nerida and try her out. Now, moving on to Yunsol, I found her to be both charming and beautifully crafted. She is absolutely cute. Now, she's also a Deadeye with a bow, which is a bonus. She performs extremely well as an archer, staying in the back and peppering the enemy with arrows while the up front fighters wade in swinging. Now, one of the things I loved about Yunsol was the fact that she chit-chatted constantly. She was always talking, and I adored her humming. It was absolutely beautiful, and the only critique I have is that the humming part could have gone on just a little bit longer. I liked it that much. Now, one thing I forgot to mention earlier is that there's an optional HDT version of her wig. Now, to get it, you can either use the Add Item mod, which I suggest getting, or just use the command console, and then you just have to type in help Yunsol, and then you'll see her HDT wig listed. Then after that, you use the add item command with the object ID to attain it. Now, literally like 10 seconds ago, I got a message from the mod author letting me know that there have been some changes. One of the changes is that I guess the high HDT high heel system was included in the mod. It's not needed, so he took it out. And then the other change is that you can now choose her weight 0, 50, or 100. So talk about the nick of time. Anyway, both followers are compatible with follower mods like Extensible Follower Framework, but you might need to use EFF's MCM menu to force recruit Yunsol, and then after that she'll work fine. Now, I encourage you to download and try out both of these followers. If you like them as much as I do, then please remember to hit that endorse button and maybe drop the authors a note of thanks. Also, remember to vote up your favorite for File of the Month. Well, that's it for the review. I hope you found my video informative and entertaining and helpful and all that. If so, please remember to hit that like button and subscribe if you have not already done so. Once again, I am your host, Porterhouse, and I will see you all at the next review.